Today, I want to talk about some wish list items. If you've been a fan of this channel for 2 years or so, you'll know that I already did one of these videos way back when. And I was actually looking back at it. And my wish list items were Fantastic Four and Defenders. Hasn't happened. Then I wished for Deadpool. Probably not the best wish to make. Then I did no more Majra sets and hero packs, which has also not happened. And then I did Civil War, which still has not happened. And then finally, I wanted a bigger campaign, which has not happened. So I guess I'm still waiting on a bunch of my wish list items. But as the game has evolved and things have changed, I think my wish list items have kind of changed a little bit too. Um, I want certain packs and whatever, but I was thinking more broad of what I want. I was thinking of other things that I want. So this is going to be my updated top five things I want to see in Marvel Champions moving forward. Now, really quick before we get too far along in this video, down below is a link to the new newsletter that I will be releasing once a week. It's really cool because it just has like 2 videos in it. One's kind of like a talking video, one's a gameplay video for you all to check out. One of my recent blog posts will be in there, and then also board game deals I found around the web. Some good prices of games. They'll be linked right there. Some of them may be affiliates, some may not be. But it's just a way to kind of, I understand that there's a lot of videos that come out and whatnot, and people can't always, keep up on all the videos and whatever. So make sure to go check out that link down below. Also, just so you know, videos like this one, I'm taking out the video because it's a lot of talking head stuff, and I will be using just the audio for podcasts. So wherever you listen to your podcast, Spotify, Apple, whatever it may be, you can now listen to these videos over there. Hopefully you get less ads. I know some people just like the platform of podcasts better because it's easier to like go around and do things while you listen to a video like this. So we are now doing that on this channel. Really excited about it. I'm hoping to do more things with podcasting moving forward, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So the number one thing I want the most, more than anything else that's available, is more Spider-Man stuff. Right? If you know me and you know this channel, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. And I would just I would just like to see more of it. I really thought we would have gotten more by now. Well, that's not necessarily true. I just thought we would have got more in general. And we're not getting announced. Now it's going to be what is it? Agents of Shield that's coming out next. So we're not going to get anything probably super soon. They still really got to do Fantastic Four and the Defenders. It feels like just a thing they have to do. And I think they're kind of gearing up to do it. But Spider-Man is still like my number one hero overall, as far as like heroes go in general. Maybe not my favorite hero in Marvel Champions, but just my favorite hero overall. So Spider stuff is my number one thing by far of what I would like to see more of. Like it's criminal to me that we haven't done anything with like Carnage yet, right? We haven't had like Black Cat as a hero or a villain, right? Doc Ock hasn't been like a villain by himself, right? There's a lot that I feel like is missing and that can be done. And Spider-Man is like the number one selling, like, revenue wise superhero of all time. Probably because they made so many movies of him and whatnot. But anyway, it's just it's crazy to me that there hasn't been more of that. I hope that there is more. Maybe they're saving it up after they do Avengers and Fantastic Four and whatnot. Okay, like that could be fine. So anyway, I'm really, really hopeful that there's more Spider stuff moving forward. I think there's just a lot to do there still, and I would really like to see it. So that's my number one thing overall. The other like 2 through 5 are kind of just, they're not in like a particular order. They're just like in a random order that I typed it in. So don't think of this as like, oh, this is the second most thing he wants. The rest of this is kind of all together. So number 2, I would say, is I really still want a Civil War box, and the reason being is because I feel like it could be well done, where I know a lot of people want to take their heroes and play against the villains. Or I'm sorry, let me phrase it. Take their heroes and play against them with the villains. There we go. So that I don't think will ever happen the way people think it will, where it's just like, oh, they're gonna like adjust the rules and then you're gonna switch it. I think the more likely thing is that you will take your heroes and play against other heroes, but that have a villain deck, right? So they make like a Captain America or Iron Man villain per se, the same way they usually do, but he's got some fun mechanics in it, right? Now that we've seen this with Nebula and now Magneto, that they're willing to have some heroes be villains and vice versa. I think it'd be fun to do that with the Civil War box of, again, having some of these heroes that we've grown to play and really love and enjoy and use some of their mechanics. against us as a villain. I think that'd be cool, but I don't think it'll be in the sense of how most people want it to be, which is, well, I take a villain deck and I somehow make it a hero deck, and then vice versa. I think they have to sell the hero as a villain and do that same kind of like formula to it, which is fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. Probably the most, I would say, or not the most, but one of the things I'm looking forward to most is that Civil War box. I think it could be a lot of fun and really well done. I think kind of going hand in hand with that is the larger campaign. Now, with the exception of the most recent campaign, which I have still yet to play, because it just every time I'm about to start it, I'm just like, oh no, I don't want to do this. Like I just have no interest in this. But every other campaign I've generally really enjoyed. I think it's been really fun. I think it's been really cool, and it's been neat, and I like it, generally speaking. That, with the exception of that one, I think a bigger overarching campaign through all of it. Like I thought X-Men would have been like the perfect way to do this, of having like um either a separate pack or something that would have tied all three boxes together. Like you made this really long cycle. It's weird to me that they're not like tied together better. And I get like campaigns haven't been the primary focus of this game. They're kind of secondary in nature, which isn't a bad thing. I think it's from the outset that's kind of what they wanted, was just like more of an arcade feel than necessarily a campaign feeling game. But they have so much experience doing campaigns that I feel like it's almost a missed opportunity for them to make something easy, small, and they'll probably sell really well. Especially if you can figure out a way to kind of make it more modular with like make it more modular with any um set, right? So you can mix Rise of Red Skull with Mojo with, I don't know, the Spider-Man box, right? Like you can mix them however you wanted to. I think if they figured out a way to do that, it would sell really well. I think it'd be really well received um, in general by the community. So anyway, that's another one. Those 2 and 3 kind of go together, so that's why I kind of put them together. 4 is I want certain heroes. And again, if you've been hanging around my live streams over on twitch.tv/G20 Woodworking, which by the way, if you have Amazon Prime and don't have a Twitch account, please make one. Connect the two things, because you have free money to give away, like real money. You have free, real money to give to content creators. It doesn't have to be to me. It can be to anyone, any board gamer that streams on Twitch, but you have free money to give away. I've done a video about it before in the past when my PC broke, about supporting people with your Amazon Twitch Prime sub. Make sure to check that out. Make sure you're doing that. It's really appreciative to all the content creators. But anyway, friendly reminder on that. So on my live streams over on Twitch and here on YouTube, I've talked a lot about that. I want certain heroes, and I still want these heroes. Like I think they'd be fun. I enjoy fun. And Kool-Aid Man is up there, and Howard the Duck is up there. Now, of course, the Spider-Man stuff was in the beginning, and that's like a more real thing. But there is like certain heroes I think would be really fun to go through. I still think it'd be fun to go through a lot of the Asgard stuff still. I think there's a lot of Black Panther stuff we haven't really touched on yet that we can get into. So I think there's a lot of older stuff, right? Older kind of things we've glossed over. I'm hoping that in the Shield pack would be Winter Soldier and Falcon, right? I think those are two heroes that really make sense to have in the box. I think Nick Fury is who we're going to see in the core in that Shield core box personally. Maybe we don't, but that's who I think we're going to. So I think there's a lot of older obscure heroes that are okay with. Now, I kind of go back and forth on this, because here's the thing with older obscure heroes. Is it going to push the needle and sell Marvel Champions more? Probably not, right? One of the big things that a lot of people wonder and worry about, that like think about the longevity of this game, is how long is this game going to last after the quote unquote S tier, A tier, however you want to tier them, heroes are gone, right? The Thors of the world, right? The Captain Americas, the Doctor Stranges, whomever, right? After you've gone through all of them, what's kind of left, right? So after the Shield stuff, after Defenders, and after Fantastic Four, right? Those are some of our big names that are left. What's left after that? Now, I would argue Spider-Man is still left with a lot of things you can do there. Again, we never did a lot of Asgard stuff with like Loki, right? It's kind of weird that Loki, it's not weird that Loki has been a hero, but that's like a big opportunity for Loki to be a hero. So different people like that. And this is also with the obscure hero thing, right? So I think there's a lot of obscure ones that I don't know if dedicated fans is the right way to phrase it, because that doesn't sound right. But just fans that are willing to just invest in a game that has good mechanics, right? And this is something that I've argued about all the time, is that I don't necessarily care about the hero per se. I care about more about the mechanics of that hero than anything else. And I stand with that still, is that I don't care. Like they could just put any hero on, right? Like I'm trying to think of a hero I don't care about that they haven't done that they've had cards for. I can't even think of anyone. But I mean, even Loki, right? I'm not even a big Loki fan. I know a lot of people like Loki from the show, and I don't personally care about him thematically, but I care about him in the well. I guess I would care about him to be thematic as a hero, but I just don't care about Loki. It could be anyone, but just make the gameplay for that person fun, right? Is what I'm really trying to say. So this going back to circling all the way back to the beginning of this gets into this weird thing where after you get through all that stuff, will people stick around? I don't know. We really don't know. Deadpool was obviously a big draw for a lot of people. X-Men was a big draw. Will people stick around? Honestly, I kind of think they will. I used to think they wouldn't. But I used to think after they got through all the A-listers, it was going to be downhill from there. But the thing is, looking around on Reddit, looking around my own channel, looking around on Facebook, whatever it may be, there are people like still really getting into this game, like each and every day. And it's really cool to see. And they're going to catch up and they're going to hopefully fall in love with the game that the same way that we all have. And it's going to lead to them buying more of the past heroes, which is going to obviously be a revenue driver for Fantasy Flight Games. But it also leads to like, okay, maybe they're willing to take on other obscure heroes, right? More options, more variety. Maybe they'll invest in that stuff. So I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. I've gone back and forth on this, if that will be a thing or not, right? Of getting to the obscure heroes will be the decline of the game or not. I don't know if it will. I think some people will just get burned out, but because it's so easy to kind of jump in and out of this game, where like if you get a hero pack and you're like, all right, I don't really care about the shield cycle, but Agent Coulson's a hero pack, right? And I like him, he's cool, so I'll get that hero pack. Like it's very easy to kind of jump in and out of it. So maybe that's the strategy moving forward in the game. I don't know, but I do know it's a big revenue driver for them in general. So they'll probably keep doing this game for quite some time until I guess we stop playing it. Okay, last thing. So, ugh, can't believe I'm saying this. I I want them to expand upon the fifth aspect, which is the pool aspect. I know. I hate the pool aspect. I loathe the pool aspect. I cannot understate how much I dislike that aspect. I dislike it on. This sounds way too strong, but just lower this temperature of what I'm about to say a little bit, and that's how I actually feel. I just can't find the right words for it. Like ethically, I'm against this pack because here's the thing: they put it in the Deadpool pack. Fine, I get that you're gonna put it in there. Deadpool was gonna sell well. It always felt like a meme aspect, like targeted just for Deadpool. And it was weird to have an entire aspect go around one hero. That's weird. And then it was kind of weird of how the aspect works and then no longer is supported, right? Deadpool came out a little while ago and we have not had any support cards for it. And not my words, their words, they are treating this as a true fifth aspect. And if they're treating it as a true fifth aspect, they should support that aspect like they do for the other four, but they haven't. Doesn't mean that they won't. And this is where my wish list item is. I want them to support the fifth aspect. I want this to be a real aspect. Even if I don't like it that much, I think people that do like the aspect deserve to have more cards in that pool, right? If they like Deadpool or the pool aspect, I should say, if they really like that pool aspect, I think they deserve more cards in that aspect. Like the rest of us get cards in all the aspects that we like. Why wouldn't they? Right? And here's the thing: I haven't completely given up on the pool aspect. No, I'm not going to go out of my way and play it really ever. But if new cards come out for it, am I going to play those cards? Yeah, I'll give it a fair shot, right? I absolutely will. And I hope they come out with cards to support that aspect. But it's still a personal pet peeve of mine that they dropped it at a higher price point on a hero they knew everyone was going to love so that they can make a lot more money from it because they charged at a much higher price. And then they just kind of went, yeah, no, we'll support this. This is a real fifth aspect. And then it just kind of fell to the wayside. And again, it felt like a joke the whole time. Now, again, There are people out there that love the pool aspect, and that's awesome. I'm honest to God really happy that you like it and it works for you. For me and anyone else that kind of agrees with me, I can't stand the aspect. I can't stand anything about it on the table or just out in the world of how it was presented and how it exists and the money grab associated with it. Like all that stuff really bothers me. So anyway, I don't want that aspect to just die in obscurity and just be like this weird like thing, right? For the people like me who didn't like that aspect, I think we would like to see it improved upon because maybe we'll change our mind, right? If it gets better and it gets more fun, I'll be happy to change my mind in the pool aspect and play it a ton more. For people that do love the aspect though, they also deserve more cards because they deserve more variety, just the same way like I'm a huge fan of aggression and justice. I expect more aggression and justice cards. You know, there's leadership fans or protection fans. They expect more cards. Why wouldn't the people in the pool aspect expect more cards as well? Right? Same exact thing. So anyway, it's one of those things I really hope they keep supporting. With my luck, they'll support it and then I'll somehow dislike it even more. I don't know. We'll see. Now, there are other pool characters, right? Lady Deadpool and whomever else that they can like expand upon. Gwenpool, I guess, that they can expand upon and do more stuff with. So like it's not that that door is shut. I think, but I think it will be, I think it will be good to see if it's expanded upon in the future. Now, quick note about that I want to bring up for a hot second is that there's a lot of speculation I've seen online if Deadpool will be released in future things. So really quick, if you don't know, we finished we're finishing the third X-Men cycle. The original contract was for 3 X-Men cycles, kind of like right there, right? Like that was it. There was those 3 in a row. We don't know what the rules are with reprinting. We don't know any of that. We just know they were doing 3 in a row because that's what the contract is, and it need to be a special contract. With that being said, the other Marvel card game that's out there is Marvel Legendary, and they're doing a second reprinting of the core box. I highly recommend you check it out if you haven't yet. Yeah, I know for some people, Champions replace Legendary. Personally, for me, I play both. I love both. I think they're 2 very different games. I'm a huge fan of them. With that being said, the core box of Legendary had Deadpool in it. The reprint won't. And Upper Deck, who does Marvel Legendary, has come out and said like basically they only expect to see Deadpool moving forward. And I don't know if it's because it's a separate IP or what. They're still doing. It still sounds like they're still like touching on X-Men stuff in there, from my understanding. Maybe I'm wrong about that, and someone can correct me. But it sounds like there's still X-Men related stuff or artwork or whatever, and then Marvel stuff mixed together. They somehow did a contract with that, but they won't be doing Deadpool stuff anymore. So my only worry with Deadpool stuff is that is the Deadpool IP writ large really hard to like kind of get right, and does that put a hamper on the fifth aspect stuff with the pool stuff because the pool stuff is so closely tied to Deadpool, right? Like, what does that look like? So anyway, that's just a little nugget of information on what's going on the legendary side of things with Deadpool not being in that box anymore and being replaced. I forgot with what hero. I need to pay closer attention. But that's what's going on that side, and it makes me a little worried about Marvel Champions, which trying to get more Deadpool characters. And the only reason I would want more Deadpool characters is to put more in the pool aspect. And a lot of the pool aspect cards feature Deadpool on it, and I assume this is just an assumption. I may be wrong. If it has Deadpool stuff on it, they have to get licensing for that artwork, right? And they have to get permission. And from my understanding, it's really hard to get Deadpool stuff right now. I don't know if it's expensive or difficult or whatever. I mean, obviously with the Deadpool Wolverine movie, I'm sure like the price went up, right? So anyway, with all that being said, I don't know if that puts a wrinkle in it. And if it does, for like the odds of a fifth aspect like coming out, that's really annoying, right? I'm really not a fan of that. Then I'm really against that if the reason they can't expand upon the Deadpool aspect is because they for whatever reason tied a fifth aspect to Deadpool, I would be really disappointed in a lot of decisions then that were made by Marvel Champions and Fantasy Flight Games at that point. So anyway, that's a little rant about that. Maybe in the future all that will change and we don't have to worry about that. That's fine. But anyway, that's my wish list items. But before you go, do me a huge favor. Scroll down into the comments and let me know your wish list, right? It could be one thing, it could be 2 things, it could be 5, 10 things. I don't really care. Put as much as you want down there. I'm interested in what you all want to see in the game. And especially how long have you been in the game, right? If you're newer in the game, what do you want to see moving forward? Or if you've been here since near the beginning, what do you want to see moving forward? I wonder if those things overlap or not. I'm really generally kind of curious in that. If newcomers and the old farts like me, if we overlap on what we want to see moving forward, or if it's still really different things. It'd be kind of interesting to see this. So anyway, I appreciate the support, everyone. Make sure to like, subscribe. Like I said, comment, turn on notifications, all that stuff helps with the channel so much. Share this video with a friend if you really want to help the channel. All that stuff helps out a ton, and I will see you all next time.